Okay, guys, check it out. What's the most important thing to do when you're making dance? This is very specific to dance music. I mean, this could up just a little disclaimer. I feel like bass music and dance music are slightly different. Dance music would be electronic dance music, and bass music, obviously electronic. Dance music would be like techno, house, trance. Bass music would be like drum and bass, trap, dubstep. The main difference is, from a mixing standpoint, is how the drums and the bass are mixed. But a lot of modern dance music borrows from bass music, vice versa. The most important aspect to them is the drums and the bass. How do you mix them with no plugins? In Ableton, I'll show you how. So, let's get some, well, the very first thing is you want to have some good samples. Something I recommend, my sample pack, which is a exclusive reward to my level 2 patrons, which is only $10. So you're getting a sample pack for $10. And you could just sign up 1 month, get the sample pack, take it, and get out of here and not even continue subscribing, or you can stay for the video content. The most important aspect before any mixing is done is getting good samples. You know, another good sample pack, and I don't shill for them. There's some issues with this sample pack, but it's also pretty good, specifically for Midtempo, but you can use other stuff, is excellent, and they make good YouTube tutorials. Midtemps Volume 2. Better than Midtemps Volume 1, their drums just aren't as good. Their drums are pretty good. Their claps are kind of weak, but it's okay. I can show you a tip on how to make your claps good. So the most important thing, before you even mix, you need to get good samples. Think of it as you're a cook. These are your ingredients. That's pretty punchy. And another thing, this is kind of nuanced, finding drums that go together. And I like to organize things. This is my workflow. We do the most important things first. For dance music and bass music, mostly the same. The drums are really important. The kick is what's the foundation. Let's just drag this open. Let's choose a kick. I'm going a little faster. I would recommend spending some time really thinking about the character of your kicks. We're doing a mid-tempo drum beat. That's what I specialize in. So we're just going to go like this. Mid-tempo, made popular by Rez, 1788L, and of course my favorite, Zabo. Organization is key. Control R. Drum. Nope, it's not a drum, it's a kick. And I like to color code them. Something cool right here, if you do assign track color to clips, boom. We're just gonna delete these for now. We're just gonna worry about the kick. 120, that's too fast. We're doing mid-tempo. Let's do 105. So the kick, and then what's really important with mid-tempo beats is the relationship with like the clap or the snare, the offbeat. I mean, not the offbeat, what's it called? It's called the backbeat. The Now, I said these claps aren't very good. They're good, but just for what I want, I think they could be better. So, how do we deal with claps that aren't as fat as we want? So, one way to mess with them, turn on warp, and you could stretch them out. That didn't seem like it did anything. So if that's not really doing anything, what you could do is, and I'm not going to use any plugins, except I'll use Serum for the bass, because I think Serum is worth getting. You can rent it on Splice for, I think, $8 a month. But we go into Dynamics, go into Multiband, go into OTT, just throw the OTT on your clap. Just straight like that. Already. It's more noticeable with like the kick layered with it. So here's before, after. See how it's got more, it's like longer? Now we might need to do some gain staging. But that, once I figured this out, I was like, wow, that's really simple. Let's try a different clap with that. Oh, wow. We can get really electro-y. And if I wanted to do something kind of cheeky, we can go something like this. And instantly, these claps are like way fatter. Before, that one didn't really do as much. I mean, it can only work with what it has. Like, that one has more of a tail, so it's probably gonna expand it a lot. And we could also do some shaping to really get it right. That's pretty good. Now, another thing that's really important that you should think about when you're making these beats, and this all affects the mixdown. It's a little more esoteric than just, you know, messing with this thing and EQs and whatnot, even though the gain staging is important. But sample selection and thinking, does this kick really go with that clap? And I know this is really up to interpretation, but at some point, like a chef, I like to use food analogies. A chef had to figure out, like, how does this wine pair with this meat? And, like, critically think, like, take the extra step to, like, critically think, does this go with the sound? And a lot of producers will just feel their way through it because they're just talented enough to make that work. But I think, why not use your talent and, you know, be a little scientific about it? I'm kind of nerdy, so that's something I do. You don't have to do it, but I think it really matters. Like, does this clap really go? Kinda, but I wonder if there's a kick drum that fits a little bit better. That almost seems like it fits better. Interesting. I don't know if this one's gonna work. No. Interesting. Oh, I might like this one. Quarter note. I really like going between this thing. That's just right-clicking and going between these. For me, it's just really fast. Interesting. I think this this kind of fits. Now, this whole process of choosing the right samples, you want to follow your taste, find what sounds good. There isn't really a right answer, but having some, like, you know, intention behind how this whole thing goes down will make your beat sound better. Also, let's keep it organized. Gordon Ramsay on those, like, competition shows like MasterChef or Hell's Kitchen, he always says, keep your workstation clean. The equivalent of that is not mislabeling. My goodness, what is this called? A clap. And let's make it green. Assign. Yep, there we go. Kind of short. And this might even dictate the kind of bass we want. Everything is holistically connected. So once we get to this part, then we can start grouping. If you want to make your kick a little crunchier, we're only going to use stock plugins for this. Anybody could do this. Saturate, let's put this on the kick just a little bit. That's not a little bit, is it? Maybe on the clap. Another thing the clap needs, this adds a lot of low end. Let's see if you'll be able to see it. Yeah, we don't need that. I don't know if Ableton's graph is just weird, but I believe this, oh, excuse me, I believe this low end is getting cut out. We probably don't even need this high end, too. Honestly, that's the frequencies that you don't really need, that you don't notice, get them out of here. They're going to mess up your mix. This is pretty good. And do we want to layer a snare with it? It really depends on taste. I think to make this a little bit beefier, we could probably just go like this. Maybe just one. And maybe... That didn't even do anything. I just wanted to play around. So this is how you get your drums sounding good. You go in here. The most important part is get your clap EQ'd properly. So let me just go back over to here just to show you some of these snares, because sometimes layering a snare is a good idea. And these are really cool. These pre-shifted snares. This is kind of specific to this sample pack. Oh, it's not. If you drag this while holding control, oh, it's not control, it's alt. Wow, I'm a master. Okay, it's alt, guys. Oh, wow, and you can really see the waveform if we just zoom in. We want it, oh, God, right in between there. And let me just see what it sounds. That actually sounds pretty good. Okay, wait. I like to go like this. Just select the bar I need. Control J. Just so it's perfect. I almost think that sounds better than the clap, honestly. Their snares are really good. And what I'm going to do is, even though I did some work on this to make this sound better, I'm going to follow what sounds good. And something we could do if we don't want that lead up for the second one, we just cut it out and just go like that. And it's okay that it's not on the transient. That's actually... You see that right there? Sneaky. Ableton sneaky. You actually don't want that on your kick. Wow, I'm glad I zoomed in. Do they all have it? They all have it. That's another thing. It's cool that Ableton kind of auto does that for sounds, but you don't want that on your kick. And it's okay that this transient isn't quite lined up right here, because it's going to affect the way that your final mix, your drum mix is. It's going to make it easier for you to make things louder when all the transients aren't stacking and creating big peaks. This is kind of a cool effect because you have whap, bap. We could maybe potentially layer this. A good mixing technique for layering is just going like this. You slowly raise it until you find the gain stage level you like. I think that's all it needs, guys. I am going to just copy this EQ over. Just the easy Control C, Control V. Ooh, I kind of liked some of this high end. The low end could stay gone. Okay, and then organization. Let's keep our space. Whoa. Let's keep our workspace tidy. Snare. Okay, so this is like the main building blocks of your drum mix, and it's very important. So we'll name this drum mix. What is a dry mix? That's not what we want. We want a drum mix, guys. Okay, so only using stock Ableton plugins. First thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get some drive. This is really cool, driving the whole mix, because it kind of blends them all together. And I'm using the saturator. This is obviously a little too much, but it really makes like when these are like hitting at the same time, a little bit of drive crunches them together in a way that sounds good, especially when the soft clip is on. This Ableton saturator is just really good for some reason. And I don't even mess with it. I just keep the analog. I don't even mess with any of this stuff. You can, but this is pretty good. Before, after. It's sounding pretty good because we made sure everything kind of just goes together. We were taking some time. Spending time on the drums, it'll just make the whole process easier. And at this point, we need to go into dynamics. We're going to go to this glue compressor, just grabbing the whole glue compressor. And I'm going to turn soft clip on again. And I don't mess with any of these things. Like 4 ratio is fine. This release is fine. This one, I'm guessing is that milliseconds? 1 milliseconds is fine. We're just going to pull this down until we get a little bit of action here, but we're not going to go above 5. Oh, see, that's way too much. And sometimes we can get some interesting characteristics by switching the send order. But I typically like saturator first, and then this kind of just snips any leftover peaks. And then the final thing, let's give us a ceiling of 6. Why is this important? Check it out. We have headroom. Headroom for days. And now, basically, with this whole setup right here, you're ready to mix. You could just add stuff really easily. Let's say I wanted to add an offbeat hi-hat. I don't have offbeat hi-hats in mine. No, what am I doing? Cymbals, hi-hats. That one sounds like it's going to go well with these. We're totally just set up for success. Just click on the last one you have. Control T. Boom. And then I'm just going to do Control J. So then I can just Control D, D, and now it's an offbeat hi-hat. And then it's already kind of pre-mixed. And you can just adjust this to taste. Your drums are mixed. You're good. You're Gucci. All this stuff right here is just going to handle your drums. So mixing made easy. This is mixing made easy, guys. And you're probably going to want to add more stuff later. But this is a perfect time to switch over to the bass design. Get the bass mixed in. So we are going to use a plugin. Just because this is my best synth. I'm sure you can make some really cool stuff with the Ableton synths, but this is what I use, and I don't know if I'm known for this, but it's just what I'm the best at. And like I said, you can get this relatively cheap, like by renting it, rent to own. I think it's $8 a month on Splice. We are doing red. I like my basses red, like the color of blood, because they're like the blood of the track. I don't know why drums are green, because money is green. Okay, that's interesting. Anyway, more important things. This needs to be named baseline. So, just a quick, easy mid-tempo bassline. I did this in my last tutorial video, which I haven't done one in a long time. You want to be in these kind of keys, like between G sharp and C sharp. Here we'll do F. What notes am I in? 16. Should we do a plucky? A pluck boy? We'll do a pluck boy and a long boy. Let's make this a little bit longer. Oh my god. No. Some people like to play their notes. I'm more of a click nerd. I'm just trying certain rhythms out. This one right here. What if I just did this? For a good old pluck boy. Control J. It's just some offbeat syncopations. I'm not too worried about how the bass line sounds. I'm just trying to show you guys how to get the mix dialed in. Oh, this needs to be labeled. Closed hi-hat. So, we're going to group it already because we may want some other basses because that usually sounds good. Bass mix. And we could honestly just copy this stuff. Put it right here. Now we may need to change some of it later depending on what we do in here. And let's just get us a good baseline. So I'm turning this all the way up. Make sure the octave is correct. One thing that I should do is actually put. We're doing this the old school way. Compressor. This is going to be our sidechain. Don't need to do the EQ. Sidechain from kick. Now you'll get a cleaner sound if you use something like LFO tool or one of those like sidechain things. But like I said, we're doing this with just the stock. So the best way to do it with the stock, we'll do peak. I mean, RMS sometimes works good, but I'm going to try peak right now. I like using, it starts like this. I like using this setting. I think it's a little easier to visualize the sidechain method. And I turn this off because I want the whole thing to be sidechained. And I'm going to turn that down to 1. And I'm having a hard time visualizing it, so I'm just going to do like a straight up long boy. This is just to get the sidechain right. That actually might do it. It's just hella gnarly threshold. It's turning it down by a lot. It sounds good. Okay. There we go. It sounds good. So let's get this pluck boy going. So we are going to use a filter. We're going to drag this kind of like that. There's many different ways we can approach this. One of the most important things is this multiband. So what's giving it the pluck is this sound, but we may want to use another filter to give it a more unique sound. So let's try bandpass. And then mixing distortion is always good. And giving it a little character, we could turn this off. If we want it to be a little bit bigger sounding, we can expand this. Oh, now we're talking. I almost always do this. And we can even mess with this. I'm just making this a little bit more dramatic. That's pretty cool. You can also sometimes add noise. Sometimes distorting with noise is a really cool effect. And if you want it to get a little bit of the pluck sound in the noise, you can either go like this. Wait, this. But that almost seems like too much. So another alternative is to drag your LFO to the level. Oh, we want it like this though. And then you figure out how much you want by going like that. And then some sub underneath it all. Direct out. And you can even go like this too. But I want some sub to just rumble all the time. Okay, and then once you got something you like, I don't even know if this is like the coolest bass sound in the world, but it's loud, it's punchy, it's good. We go back over to here. Let's look at all this stuff. Okay. Now, remember I was talking about bass music and dance music in the beginning. Techno, house, trance. A lot of that stuff, its low end is derived from the main kick pulsating. And then bass music, dubstep, it's more about the bass. So if you want a more dubstep-y track, like say if this was like 150 or like something like this. And you were just doing more bass, I would say keep your limiter at 6. But if you're more of a mid-tempo buddy, turn this down. I mean, it's already kind of... It might be smarter, actually, instead of turning it down, getting a utility right after it, and turn it down by... That actually might be just that. So then we go over here, let's look at this. It's just a little bit quieter. A little bit quieter. And it's not that noticeable, but it'll just make your kick a little bit more punchy. Let's add another bass line. I'm just gonna delete this. And let's do, can I initialize? Initialize preset. Oh my god, we're on F. I want to hear it. What is it? Why is it not working? Oh, because of the sidechain. The sidechain. Right here. The fastest way to get a crunchy electro sound is turning this noise on, turning this all the way up, going to distortion, going to diode, and then compressor, turning the multiband on, bringing this down, and... Oh, but you need to be in the right octave. The more noise, the more dirt. And maybe we want it wide too. Just that, and then the main juice can come from the sub. Now that we have these two in here, let's just make sure that they're both hitting this equally. Okay, so this is the basis of your track, your mix. Nail this shit right here. Nail it. Get it done. Because now all I need to do to add more bass lines, let's say I want to make this longer, and I want to like maybe I want to do something like that. I mean, I don't know if this is going to sound artistically good. Oh, kind of weird, but you can add more bass lines very easily, because the same way like you can add your drums really easily, you're set up. And you were already set up for this because you just copied this thing over. And maybe you would have needed to make some changes, but it's kind of just working. And we're doing this so the kick is a little bit punchier. And the only thing we added was a sidechain. Pretty cool, right? So the reason why this is important to like set up your whole track, now you know the loudest thing in your song should be this kick right here, and you can mix to this. Everything else, like this, should be your template. And what's really cool about it being mixed like this, because once it's mastered, let's just do like a demo master. I'll use Ozone 9 since this is some really good mastering. This is kind of expensive, but you can get it for, I think it's $20 a month. I know it's kind of a lot. That's like 3 Netflixes. But it is pretty good. So simple mastering, we would just take out the low end. I mean, not take out the low end, mono the low end. And then this is a really good preset, modern dynamics. And let's just look at everything. Play. Okay, it's taking away a lot of stuff from here and here, but not too much in the low end. That's good. We want the low end to be clean, and it doesn't sound too different. Once you do that, then you can, modern is what I like to do. all the way to 0, so it's fast, true peak on, and then you slowly bring this down until you get the LUFS you want. Play. The goal with this master, I'm trying to get as little gain reduction as possible with as many LUFS as possible. And that's already pretty, this is usually what Social Kid Music is mastered to, like -4. And if you just want to crank out an extra, you can go like this. Maybe just another one, 0.5. And we're pretty much good to go. The mix is basically already pre-done for you because of all this work that you did right here. And that's all that this video... Whoa! Excuse me. Good thing I got this. That's all that I really wanted to talk about in this video, is how to set yourself up for beautiful mixes, fat mixes. You just go through the process, getting those good samples. That is really important. Making sure the samples mesh well, and that's to taste. Follow your taste. And then you could do a little bit. See, I didn't really do much EQing because the samples are so good, I didn't need to do that much. Frankly, you don't want to have to do that much. You want the samples to be pretty cool already. And then maybe just taking out some low ends so they're not clashing with the kick. And, you know, just doing a little mix on the group. And this limiter, this is really the secret sauce, just limiting it. And now look at our headroom. Oh wait, that's because this is on. These are loud as fuck. They're about the same level, so they're sitting pretty well in the mix, and we still have headroom. And that's plenty for mastering, honestly. As long as you have a little bit of headroom, your mastering engineer could do some stuff to make it sound fat. And this is like usually the most amount of stuff and like the cleanest part of your track you want to be your drops. And if you have this much headroom during your drops while things are really loud, then you're Gucci. But that's all I really wanted to show you guys. Thanks for joining. Yep, we're using OBS. Peace out, guys. Oh, my cat was in this video the whole time. Hi, Ozzy. You want to make a cameo? Okay, she said no.